All right, Leeds faithful, gather round because what I'm about to tell you is gonna shake Elland Road to its absolute core. You know that feeling when you're walking to the ground on match day and you can sense something massive is about to happen? Well, that's exactly what's happening right now with our beloved Whites. Listen up, because in the next few minutes I'm gonna reveal 3 absolutely earth-shattering pieces of news that are gonna define whether we sink or swim in this Premier League campaign. We're talking about a goalkeeper situation that's messier than a muddy pitch in January, a manager who's practically begging the board for help, and a transfer battle that could either save our season or leave us wondering what if. For years to come. I'm talking about a French shot stopper who's been completely frozen out, a German gaffer who's making desperate pleas that should have every Leeds faithful worried sick, and a Nigerian sensation who could be the missing piece of our Premier League puzzle, but only if we can beat our rivals to his signature. The transfer window slams shut in less than 48 hours, and I kid you not, these next few days will determine whether we're celebrating survival or crying into our pints come May. The tension at Thorpe Arch is thicker than Yorkshire fog, and Daniel, Fark is feeling the heat more than a fan in the south stand on a scorching August afternoon. Before we dive into this absolute madness, make sure you smash that like button if you bleed white. Hit subscribe because you never want to miss moments like these. And drop a comment telling me, are you excited or terrified about what's coming? Because trust me, after what I'm about to reveal, you're going to be both. But here's the thing that's going to blow your mind. While everyone's been focusing on who we're trying to bring in, the real drama started with someone we desperately need to get out. A goalkeeper who was supposed to be our future but has become our biggest headache. And there it is, Leeds faithful, the name that's been haunting Elland Road like a ghost that just won't leave. Illan Meslier, the French goalkeeper who was supposed to be our answer between the sticks, is now nothing more than an expensive reminder of how quickly football can turn sour. Can you believe it? This is the same keeper who we thought would be pulling off world-class saves in the Premier League, and now Daniel Fark won't even give him a sniff of first-team action. The man was dropped during our championship-winning campaign, during the most crucial part of the season when every point mattered. That tells you everything you need to know about where his head was at. Here's the brutal reality that every Leeds faithful needs to understand. Meslier has become persona non grata at our club. We've brought in Lucas Perry, and that's basically Fark saying, Illan, you're done, mate. Pack your bags. There's no coming back from this. No redemption story. No Hollywood ending. When your manager drops you during a title run and then signs your replacement, you know it's over. But here's where it gets even more frustrating for us. Lorient want him back. His old club in France are sniffing around. They've got him on a 3-man shortlist. But guess what? They're crying about the money. They want our keeper, but they don't want to pay what he's worth. It's like going to a restaurant, ordering the steak, then complaining it costs too much. The club is desperate to get his wages off our books because every week he stays. That's money we could be spending on players who actually want to fight for the shirt. We paid $5 million for this lad, and now we're probably going to have to take whatever scraps we can get just to move him on. And you know what the most infuriating part is? We're running out of time. Less than 48 hours left in the window, and we're stuck with a keeper who's eating up wages while contributing absolutely nothing to our Premier League survival fight. But if you think the Meslier situation is stressful, wait until you hear what Daniel Fark has been saying publicly about our chances this season. The man is practically sending SOS signals to anyone who'll listen. Right, here we go, Leeds faithful, and this is where things get absolutely desperate. After that frustrating 0-0 draw against Newcastle, Newcastle without half their first team, Daniel Fark dropped a bombshell that should have every single one of us worried sick about what's coming this season. Our German gaffer, the man who guided us back to the Premier League, has basically admitted that we're walking a tightrope over relegation. He looked straight into the cameras and said, it will be difficult for Leeds to survive the drop. Let that sink in for a moment. Our own manager thinks we're in serious trouble. But here's what's really eating at Fark's soul. He's been begging the 49ers ownership for attacking reinforcements for weeks now, and what's he getting? Radio silence. The man is so desperate he's playing Jack Harrison off the bench against Newcastle. Jack Harrison, A player who many of us thought wouldn't even be in our squad this season. Listen to this absolute desperation from our gaffer. We need more quality options up front. Trying to do this. Not we're going to sort it, not deals are close, but trying. That's the language of a man who's been let down by his board, who's fighting with one hand tied behind his back. He's talked about Dominic. Calvert-Lewin being good for us. Yeah, when he's fit, which is about as often as we get sunny days in Yorkshire. And Noah Okafor was on the bench for an emergency. An emergency. That's not squad building, that's panic stations. For 3 games straight now, Fark has been moaning about our lack of firepower up front. 3 games. And the 49ers are just sitting there watching our manager practically beg for help while the transfer window ticks away like a time bomb. We've strengthened defense and midfield, sure, but what good is keeping clean sheets if we can't score goals? We'll be the best organized team in the championship next season if this carries on. The frustration in Fark's voice is palpable. This is a man who knows we're 1 injury away from disaster, 1 bad run away from the drop. But just when you think all hope is lost, just when it seems like we're heading for a transfer window disaster that could define our entire season, there's one name, one player who could change everything. This is it, Leeds faithful. This is the moment that could make or break our entire season. While we've been watching Facundo Buonanotte slip through our fingers to Chelsea, another case of us being gazumped by a bigger club, there's still one player out there who could save Daniel Fark's bacon and give us the attacking spark we desperately need. Christantus Uche. Remember that name because it might just be the most important signing in Leeds United's recent history. This Nigerian sensation from Getafe has been on our radar all summer, and now we're in a 2-horse race with Crystal Palace to land him before Monday's deadline. Here's what makes this story absolutely incredible. This lad cost Getafe just $500,000 last year. $500,000. He was a nobody from the lower leagues of Spanish football, and in just 12 months he's become a Nigeria international with 11 goals and assists in 38 games. Already this season, he's got a goal and an assist in Getafe's 3-0 demolition of Celta Vigo. But here's the kicker that should have every Leeds faithful on the edge of their seats. Getafe won $15.5 million for him. That's not crazy money in today's market, especially when you consider what this kid could become. We're talking about massive resale value. We're talking about a player who's proven he can perform when given the chance. Adam Underwood and the board have already held talks. Talks! We're not just monitoring the situation. We're not just interested. We've actually sat down and discussed making this happen. But Crystal Palace are swooping in at the last minute. Typical vultures trying to steal our target. This is exactly the type of signing that could transform our season. A young, hungry player who can play multiple positions across the front line. Winger, attacking midfielder, even striker if needed. Everything Daniel Fark has been crying out for. Everything. Our attack has been missing. Think about it. If we land Uche, suddenly our front line has pace, creativity, and goals. If we miss out, we're stuck with the same problems that had Fark looking defeated after the Newcastle draw. But this isn't just about one player. This is about whether the 49ers ownership are serious about keeping us in the Premier League. Less than 48 hours left, 2 clubs fighting for 1 player, and our entire season hanging in the balance. This is what football is all about. The drama, the tension, the pure emotional roller coaster that makes us love and hate this beautiful game in equal measure. So here's my question for every single Leeds faithful reading this. Are you ready for Monday's deadline day drama? Are you prepared for either the ecstasy of landing our man or the agony of watching another target slip away? Because one way or another, these next 48 hours will define our Premier League campaign. Smash that like button if you believe we can pull this off. Subscribe if you want to be the first to know how this transfer saga ends. And tell me in the comments, do you think Christantus Uche is the missing piece that saves our season? Or are we destined for another deadline day disaster? Come on, Leeds, let's get this done.